Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. This is Martin Luther King Jr. And we, as the affirmative side, we agree with Mr. Martin Luther King Jr. As the injustices of human rights abuses and oppressions of freedom of speech is something that we need to prevent and we cannot stand for. We are definitely against the abuses against human rights. We are going to start by the definition. We as the affirmative team define the motion as we are making a law that protects not only pre-existing anonymous posting on websites who are willingly want to have anonymous posting, but also we are allowing all companies to have the choice to anonymous posting by protecting them. Just to be clear, we are not forcing any company to do so. And we are for the protection of the users using that choice. Protecting it means that these companies will not share their users' information with third-party groups. Of course, this law is not absolute, and we won't counter other criminal laws. In case like murder law, this law is definitely not going to protect a criminal. So, we as the affirmative side support the resolution that says that the right to anonymous posting on the internet should be protected by law. Our first contention is that anonymous posting protects and promotes the right to freedom of speech. Let me just start by presenting Threatened Voices. Threatened Voices is an organization that tracks the suppression of online free speech. It records this instance where bloggers and online writers have been threatened, arrested, killed, and disappeared by authorities since the year 2000. According to their database, there have been more than 376 recorded cases of online bloggers, writers, journalists, and even regular people being prosecuted for expressing their opinions online. Just to say their own ideas, they have been prosecuted. And these only the ones that we know about. We do not have the right number, but this is the Threatened Voices statistics. We do not even know how many are they who have been prosecuted and even killed for expressing their own voices. There is no freedom of speech if you are constantly afraid of speaking your mind for fear of prosecution. Thus, if the human right of freedom, the freedom of speech, is to be promoted, we must make a law to protect anonymous posting. Oppressed people and other discriminated groups cannot express freedom of speech without being able to protect their identity. So we need to have anonymous posting protected by law. The right to anonymity is a component of a right to speech. So if we are protecting the right to anonymity, we are consequently protecting the freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is giving the citizens the right not to express themselves, and actually giving the right to express themselves is composed of having the choice to be either to express yourself or not to express yourself, and that's part of being to have the right to privacy. So, because freedom of speech is partially having the right not to want to express oneself, that means that we are promoting the right of privacy. So we have the link between the right to anonymity, that is promoting the right to freedom of speech, that is promoting the right to privacy. Our second contention is that it promotes discourse and progress. Without being afraid of repressions and controversial debate can improve an understanding of each side and help lead to a middle ground and create a harmonious environment. The scientific and astronomical community was set back when Galileo's ideas were suppressed and he was persecuted. The protection of the anonymity prevents suppression, and by preventing suppression, we are promoting discussion and therefore promoting ideas and evolution of mankind. If someone knows that if he expresses his thoughts, no matter how controversial they are, freely and without any kind of prosecution or whatsoever, and he is protected by the law that we're trying to establish, that person will share his thoughts without any fear. That will consequently lead to progress and debating, which will promote a better understanding about controversial issues and promote respect and harmony in a community, whether it's a national or international community. We only need one person to stand against the majority to have the thesis and the antithesis that makes new ideas and debate and the evolution of mankind. Our third contention is it sets a precedent to protect human rights. By setting a strong stance for the promotion of freedom of speech through anonymous posting, we set a precedent to international respect of human rights. And as I said before, the freedom of speech is related to freedom of the right to anonymity is related to freedom of speech and the right to privacy. So, freedom of expression is both expressing and not expressing oneself, as I said before. Therefore, by forcing people not to give up certain parts of their identity, you are going against freedom of speech and expression and privacy. And actually setting a precedent to violation of human rights. That's not what we stand for. We are standing for having human rights all over the globe. So let me just give you an analogy how setting a precedent can protect human rights. Well, in the United States, the state of Arizona adopted a law that citizens cannot have the right to make their own guns and bullets in their homes without federal approval. After the state of Montana had the same law. So, with this analogy, we say that we can see that the state of Montana had a precedent to prevent gun making in one's home, and the state of Arizona did the same. There is a logic analogy that can be related to setting a precedent to human rights all over the globe. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Aren't the laws in each country different?
Yeah, that's what we said. We're going to have an international law.
Do you think that the oppressed regimes will obey the international law?
Well, actually, if you're talking about oppressive regime, let me give you an example. China was forced by Apple to change the workers' situation in China because Apple threatened China to take the factory of Apple from China. So China was actually internationally pressured to obey certain laws. So we can do international pressure. And actually, with this example that I gave you, it works.
Okay, our opponents falsed about the journalists. What exactly did these journalists say?
Actually, we are talking about all controversial issues, and mostly governments could, for example, political controversial issues. That's just an example. It could be gay marriage, for example.
Where were these journalists?
Excuse me?
Where were these journalists?
All over the globe. I said it's an international statistics that has been done by Threatened Voices, the organization that I talked about in my contention one.
Okay, couldn't this be a controversial ideas with anonymity too?
How?
I'm asking you. Actually.
But that was not a question, actually.
This is the question. I'm asking
was
that
it?
couldn't these idea anonymously was they can say controversial ideas also anonymously.
Are you saying that we should not promote controversial discussion?
I'm asking you.
Yeah, because I did not understand the question. Sorry.
Okay, why do you think that the the people will believe to the person who is anonymously posting the posts like anti-governmental or criticizing. Why the people will believe them?
Well,
If they
people
are
have
anonymous.
well, people have the right to believe whether they want to believe that person or not. It's a choice. And actually, people can Google the information that one person posted online just to make sure that what he's saying is true. And that's it. I mean, we have the choice to believe whether we want to believe that person or not. We are protecting that choice.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, hello everybody. I'm Alexander Velekis and I'm the first speaker of NEC team. And now I will explain you why we support human rights, why we support our position and prop team in this violence on human rights, violence of law, and why the anonymity don't have to be protected by the law. Okay, at first, they speak about international law. They speak that it will be a UN declaration and people will, and all oppressive regime will support this and oppressive minorities will have a voice. No, all of country have the different law, and so that's in one country is legal, it's not illegal in the other country. Why they journalists was killed? Because they do illegal things. They need anonymity because they do illegal things in this country. In some country there is illegal to be opposite the government, and there will be illegal in their model because all of this country have their different law. And they speak about China. They speak about how Apple used this power to change the China. No, guys, we got example of China. When some Western social media like Facebook or Google start the activity to China, and China's government said no, we don't have to use this social media because it's not support our law, not follow China's law, and then the Facebook and the other social media will kick off from China. And it will be happened. And all of your minorities, all of your oppressed people who will fight against government in your model will be oppressed too, and will be traced and will be killed only because they do illegal things. And in your model they have been to traced and they have been to treat because you don't support illegal things. So that's why these people who you want to protect will kill. Okay, I start with my first contention. My third contention about how anonymity kills people. At first, anonymity brings more aggression to society. How does it work? Anonymity protects freedom of fear. People start to feel no fear. I can do everything because nobody can punish me. I can do everything that I want. And I'm a man. I want to trolling. I want to bullying. I want to do some harmful thing because I'm a simple man. There is no angels in our world. And every average man want to troll. There is three different groups of men who never crime, who crime today, and who don't think crime or not crime, trolling or not trolling. And this is majority. It's about 18%. And with this law, of our opponent team, they provocate these people to start trolling, to start bullying, to start do harmful things because anonymity protect it. They feel no fear and they start trolling, and it's very bad, it's very harmful because there are lots of sensitive people who will be pushed to suicide about this policy, who will bring more harm. Their policy brings lots of harm in the society, and I've got examples about Princeton College experiment who this research will explain how people became more angry only about the anonymity because they feel no fear, they feel no punish. And then example of Amanda Todd when girl was suicide only about anonymity trolling. In your future world you want to lots of example people who was suicide only about anonymity. We don't support this world. We totally against this idea. And then I want to rebuttal your argument about the free discussion. You said that it will be free discussion in the internet. Minorities will speak their mind freely, and it was okay. At first, I've said about illegal things. And second, if minorities start appraise their anonymity, they start speak about their ideas. It will be no free discussion because everybody may say that they want, and it will be lots of hate speech on the net. The people will hate this minority. Yes, in some oppressed Arabic country, people on the net may say, yes, I'm LGBT, and it's LGBT anonymity minority. And what happens then? People hate LGBT in this country, and they will hate, and they will post lots of hate speech against this, and their ideas will be not listened because people hate it in status quo. And what do you want to support? You want to support hate to social minorities? You want to support no freedom discussion? You want to support internet trolling? We as an opposite team don't support these lots of trolling, bullying and hate speeches around the net. But you don't do something good in the status future. You will do only harm. And about this discourse, let's speak about the two international social media, 4chan and Facebook. 4chan using real name policy. Facebook using real name policy and 4chan not. In Facebook there is normal discussion about all questions because people responsible for their mind, because people signed up under their speech and feel responsibility. And in 4chan it's only Nazi symbols, lots of cats and child pornography because people are anonymous and may do something they want. You want to build the 4chan of all internet? We don't. We think your position as affirmative team don't protect human rights, don't protect oppressive minorities, and it's all provocation and hate speech. We think that you want to provocate every people to start hate speech and some bad things, and then you want to more oppress to the oppressive minorities. You want to kill lots of people and create the harmful internet. And we think that we support our ideas, and we don't have to legalize anonymity. We don't have to legalize suicide. We don't have to legalize those harmful speeches. We don't have to legalize anonymity, because it will be harmful for everybody. Thank you.
Okay, I'll start.
Okay.
Our first question was that maybe you talk about oppressive regime or UN Charter, but do you think oppressive regime is legitimate?
Okay, let's may I explain the idea why oppressive regimes is legitimate. There are two good examples when it's happened. Russia and China. Russia and China is a big part of United Nations. It's one of the countries who have the right to how to say it. The right to cancel all of the United Nations declarations, because it's two countries of foundation. United Nations, yes, it's two countries, winner and second
please
World
talk
War,
briefly.
and they are oppressive regimes and they are legalized. And no country may do something with China because it has.
Thank you. I'm satisfied with your answer. And do you think human rights are important?
Yes, I think human rights are important, but you fight against this right. You want to discriminate these rights, like rights to free, like rights to life.
Thank you very much. Do you think we should try to protect human rights?
Try to protect human rights?
Yes.
Okay, I think everybody try to protect human rights, but you don't do it because you want to kill people in oppressive regime. I think the right ends when the start right of the other guy. And hate speech is a very good example with its no right. You want to protect hate speech in the future. It's really violent on human rights, because if I read the hate speech, it's very bad for me, and it's not right of freedom of speech.
Thank you very much. In your negative side contention, why human rights will be infringed?
May I explain the second time? Because I'm from Russia, I've got a very big English, very bad English, yeah. I'm from oppressive government.
Please answer again, I can't understand.
You may explain me this question second time, because I didn't catch your point.
Okay.
I'm really sorry.
In your first contention, why people tell negative opinion on the internet?
Oh, it's very easy to explain. Okay, let's imagine. I'm not anonymous. I'm responsible on the whole world and say, at first I think, and then I write, because I'm responsible on this world, because I know that somebody may punish me about this world, and now I'm anonymous. It's my real things, and I think lots of people want to trolling, and it was supported by some psychological research like Princeton College, because when people anonymous, they start to do really harmful things that they won't be doing in the normal life, because they feel no fear. And if I feel no fear and I read something against my position.
Thank you, I got your logic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Judges ready? Opponents ready? Man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask and he will tell you a truth. This is a quote from Oscar Wilde, a homosexual poet that was persecuted wrongly for what he thought. This is why today, as the affirmative side, we agree with Oscar Wilde, as in we should have anonymity to protect free speech, to protect human rights, and to further mankind. First, I'd like to move on to our own contentions and then refute our opponents. Our first contention was that anonymous posting promotes and protects freedom of speech. This is true because freedom of speech is an extension of anonymity. If you cannot express what you think without being persecuted, then you don't actually have freedom of speech. If I'm afraid of saying what I really think about controversial issues and I think I will be persecuted by the government or by other people, I will clearly not say it. That's why we need anonymous posting to protect these people and to allow them to truly express what they think. As the affirmative side, we are supporting human rights such as freedom of speech and freedom of expression. Our second contention was that it promotes discourse and progress. This is especially true because the way the world advances is if we have discourse and progress, if we debate controversial issues, and if we discuss them to try to find an understanding or a middle ground. If we are forever stagnant and we forever don't agree and we don't have discussion, then we will stay this way forever. If we are to solve issues in today's world that are plaguing everyone, then we need to have anonymous posting to help promote debate, to help promote discussion, to help promote progress. Our third contention was that it sets a precedent to human rights. This is the most important point of today's debate. The negative side wants to sit by and do nothing. They have brought countless examples of oppressive governments and how they oppress their people. And yes, as the affirmative side, we agree with this. But the fact is, as the affirmative side, we do want to make a change. We are trying to make a change. We are trying to promote human rights. By setting a precedent for the rest of the world, we are showing that we stand for human rights. We will not give up any ground when it comes to human rights. So this is why setting a precedent will change the world for the better. And we cannot sit by and do nothing. Now I'd like to move on to our opponents' contentions. They say that all countries have different laws, so that's why we shouldn't break certain countries' laws. But if an oppressive government has laws against freedom of speech or controversial issues, I don't believe that's a legitimate law. Oppressive governments that abuse human rights, that kill their own citizens for oppressing dissidents or having political views, that is not legitimate. These laws should not be obeyed. If they're saying we should obey all laws, then they're saying when we used to have slavery in America, that we should have kept it. We need to stop human rights abuses. We need to stop things that are harming all human beings. They also say that journalists do illegal things, and this is referring to what I just said, but again, they are not illegal. If you're expressing your political ideas, if you're trying to debate controversial issues, this is a human right that you have. It should not be suppressed. It should not be stopped. This isn't illegal just because some oppressive regime, such as Kim Jong-un, says, you can't do it because I want to be in power. They also say that Facebook will get kicked. Facebook got kicked in China. But first of all, this is completely irrelevant because Facebook is not an anonymous company, so it's not even part of this debate. They also say that anonymity brings more aggression. But this is actually not true because, first of all, it's non-unique because there's already trolling on the internet without this law. And first of all, if I see a post on the internet such as I hate Asians, I don't really care about it. Obviously, people are used to trolls. People don't acknowledge it, especially if they're anonymous. If you see some anonymous guy just dissing you, you're obviously not going to actually take it into account. So obviously, trolling will not increase and trolling will not actually have a worse effect if we have anonymous posting. They also said the example of Amanda Todd, but this actually helps our side because we believe that bullying is bad. But if you have anonymous posting, people cannot track you down and find out specifically who you are. If I'm being bullied by Yoan, but I'm an anonymous poster, then Yoan will not be able to specifically find me and specifically say, Taylor, I don't like your Converse shoes. So obviously we need anonymous posting because it protects the person, it protects the individual from other bullies who are trying to find out who they are. Amanda Todd would have been saved if she was anonymous, if she could not be found by those bullies who are unfairly bullying her. So if you support not bullying, if you support having human rights, then you actually stand with the affirmative side. They also said that hate speech is bad and will increase. But again, as I've stated with trolling, this is not true and people will not take it into account. And furthermore, I'll actually address it more because hate speech is actually something that promotes discourse. This actually proves our side. If you have an extreme view against your own view, you're obviously going to want to debate it. You're obviously going to want to research it and find out why you are right to prove how you are right. This promotes discourse. This promotes progress. By having extremist points of views, that's how we have change. If everyone is always saying the same old thing all the time, then we're not not going to have progression in the future. We need extremist points of views, as my first speaker stated. With a new idea, a new thesis, we can create new ideas. This is why we need progress. This is why we support human rights in anonymous posting. Now, as I have stated, because all the opponent's points falls and actually lies on the affirmative side, and the fact that anonymous posting promotes human rights and is something to try to change the status quo that is abusing human rights, I strongly affirm. Thank you.
Thank you for your speech, but I still say I have some questions. Okay, if I say I hate China on the net, maybe I don't. You are saying people don't care about it.
Well, obviously, if they're just trolling me, I'm not going to take into consideration.
Okay, you think lots of people, if I write on the net, I hate China, hate everybody Chinese people, and these Chinese people will read it, and you think they will don't care, they won't do something against?
Well, if someone's like personally abusing me, then maybe, but the thing about anonymous posting is they're just addressing a wide group. I don't take any offense when some random kid is on the internet and just saying Asians suck, Asian eyes are squinty. That doesn't affect anyone.
Okay, so you think they won't be people want to be provoked about hate speech, and all people are very responsibility and serious even if they anonymous?
What was your question?
All of people are responsibility and really serious even if they anonymous, even if they may say everything they want?
Could you rephrase that? I honestly don't understand.
Okay, you think that all people are responsible and think before write something and don't provocate on hate speech, and even if they anonymous and may write everything they want, like they may react on the phrase of I hate China?
Alright, so we're not talking about responsibility, we're talking about the fact that people will ignore these comments and how actually hate speech and other things can spark debate, so that's why it's actually beneficial.
Okay, you think that all people will be ignore hate speeches, yeah?
What, all people ignore hate speech?
Yeah, it's that's you think you talking now that everybody will ignore really hate speech and there are no hated conflicts in the net.
Well, if it's on the internet and it's an anonymous guy saying, oh, I hate Asians, I'm not going to take it into consideration.
Okay, how is cyberbullying going to decrease?
Because cyberbullying relies on the person knowing who you are and saying, you're Asian, I don't like you. But the fact is, if you're anonymously posting, no one will be able to find you. So pretty much you won't be able to be bullied on the internet.
Okay, in this time you say that nobody will find you, and then in your speech you say that if it's a criminal, they may find them. Okay, and how that work? How it's protect anonymity? Because in the one time they may be found and they may be not found.
Well, obviously the government is more powerful than a bully.
Okay, and you see government will be chased every bully and troll on the net?
No, I don't think they will. Which is why we should have anonymous posting to stop bullying.
And how anonymous posting will stop bullying?
As I've just stated, you can't, if someone's bullying me and he can't find me, he can't say anything to hurt me. If someone's bullying me and they don't know who I am on the internet, they can't say anything to harm me.
You think everybody on the net will be anonymous?
Yes, that's what anonymous posting is.
Okay, thank you.
Is our judges ready? Ladies and gentlemen, honorable judges and worthy opponents, as a second speaker of the opposition side, we'd like to go over what our opponent said. Now, in our opponent's second speech, our opponents mentioned something about extension of anonymity. Our opponent said that it is better if we have controversial issues. Our opponent says that these people will have discussions together. Honorable judge, we disagree with this idea. We believe that people won't have controversial issues. Our opponent said in the cross-ex that if I say that I hate Chinese people, people won't respond to me. Our opponent said that because it's an idea that people won't respond to me. Honorable judge, this goes against what our opponent said because this does not promote freedom of speech. This goes against what our opponents are saying, honorable judge. Our opponents are telling us that just because I'm saying an idea, people won't respond to me. Honorable judge, this goes against what our opponents said in their second contention. Therefore, we believe that everything that our opponents said so far obviously falls because our opponents themselves said that people won't respond to me, honorable judge. Therefore, we believe that because people won't respond to me, there will not be any discussion, therefore won't promote anything our opponents are saying. Whereas, we've already explained the harms of this. We've already explained that there'll be an increase of cyberbullying. Why is that? Because of the fact that people won't be held responsible. Honorable judge, we've already explained to you that identity is the only thing that keeps them accountable. Our opponent's only refutation to this was the fact that just because people can't find me on the internet, that they won't bully me. Honorable judge, it does not have to be online only. Our opponent, the person can still know who I am. They can still say bad things online of me, but I just can't respond. Honorable judge, this is not preventing cyberbullying whatsoever. Honorable judge, we believe that cyberbullying increased because of loss of accountability. My partner already explained about the case study of the Princeton University. This obviously proved that people with no identity lose accountability. Honorable judge, this is very, very bad. Our opponents next said about the slavery. Our opponents are saying the slavery that we won't, like slavery should be legal in our case. However, honorable judge, we believe that change happened because of the fact that they weren't not anonymous. Honorable judge, change happened because of the fact that I stood up, honorable judge, because of the fact that I wasn't hidden behind a mask. Our opponents are saying that if I hide behind a mask, be anonymous, that change is going to happen in our society. Honorable judge, we disagree with this idea. We believe that if we want change to happen without any harms, we don't need to be anonymous. Okay, going with our opponent's contention, our opponent said something about their press groups.
one response for this. Honorable Judge, in our society, we have two groups of people. One group of people that want to harm others. Another group of people that want to be recognized in our world. Honorable Judge, if I'm a person that want to be recognized, I want to have friends. When I post things on the internet, Honorable Judge, and I get controversial issues, we believe that this will stop me from having discussions on the internet, therefore losing the point of anonymity. Instead, there will be more harms. Whereas if I post something on the internet that harms another person, Honorable Judge, then I don't want to have friends. I don't want to be recognized. This will actually harm another person. Therefore, anonymity protects people that want to harm others, but doesn't protect vulnerable citizens, Honorable Judge. Vulnerable citizens are still in harm, Honorable Judge, because of the fact that there will not be any discussion. I will be hurt still, Honorable Judge. This goes against our opponents' benefits, Honorable Judge. And we'd also like to mention one thing that our opponents said about the international laws and the laws that our opponents brought up. Honorable Judge, we are forcing our values on oppressive regimes. Our opponents said just because a government is illegitimate, we're going to disregard all their laws, Honorable Judge. We believe that this itself is illegitimate. We are forcing our values, Honorable Judge. This is bad for our society. Therefore, we believe that all our opponents' refutation to our case obviously falls, and our opponents' two contention about protects freedom of speech and discourse obviously falls. For first thing about their thing that says that people won't respond to my ideas because they're just ideas. Furthermore, we've already explained how people won't reply to this. People won't have discussions, Honorable Judge. There'll just be more harms. There'll be a loss of accountability, responsibility. Not only that, but there'll be more cyberbullying, Honorable Judge. We've already proven this. Therefore, we believe that all our benefits that our opponents prove obviously fall, and the harms that we've proven, Honorable Judge, stand. Therefore, I believe that this resolution today only proposes harms, and we do not want to protect that in our society. Therefore, we strongly believe that this resolution should and will fall. Anonymous posting should not be protected by law. Thank you. Thank you.
So from who does the government take its legitimacy?
What does our opponents mean?
I mean, who elect the government?
Who elects the government in which countries?
No, all the countries.
All the countries? That doesn't seem like...
You do not agree that people elect their own government?
In oppressive regimes, people don't elect their government.
So you're saying that there is no election in oppressive regimes?
Our opponents are saying there's elections in oppressive regimes? It's the same thing. There are
so I come from Tunisia, which was an oppressive regime, and there was
So our opponents are saying there were elections in an oppressive regime? Then that means, that doesn't make sense. The reason why they're oppressive regimes and not Western liberal democracy or democracy.
They do have elections.
Have elections?
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that the legitimacy doesn't come from the people?
What is it?
The legitimacy of the government does not come from the people. That's what you're saying, right?
The legitimacy of
the government.
The government comes from the people? Is that what our opponents are asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you that.
We don't understand,
Okay, so you said that we're forcing our values on other governments, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
we're forcing our values.
That's the answer that I'm looking for. So, do you think that what's the UN's statement? Why is the UN exist in the first place?
Why does the UN exist?
Mm-hmm. Can you please just do not repeat the question? Just
no, because I don't Okay.
Okay, just answer it.
It's because of the international community. I mean, they get together.
Okay, get together to do what?
To discuss.
To do what exactly? Not to help people.
No, there's lots of things that the United Nations does, right?
Not to promote human rights, right? We're not promoting human rights in the UN.
It's a different story because.
No, can you please
No,
just
no.
answer? Can you please just answer?
I'm
Okay, answer.
answering, okay? Okay, so like we're saying that human rights aren't going to protect it. In other words,
No. I'm asking you, does the UN promote human rights or not?
like in a safe manner. that
Yes or
doesn't
not?
hurt the
Okay,
people.
China and Russia are in the UN, right?
Okay.
Okay, so they are for the statement that we should protect human rights. Like China and Russia are advocating in the UN, so they are for the statement of the UN or not. If someone is in the UN, he's saying that I am for the statement of the UN, which
No.
is protecting
No.
human rights. No,
No.
is it true or not?
No.
Oh, so you just sign up for something that you're not going to do?
Our opponents are saying that we sign up to be in the United Nations because of the
Okay,
fact
thank
that
you.
we're in the United
Thank you.
Nations.
Thank
we
you.
have to go
Thank
with
you.
every
Okay.
belief.
Can you please say how are you going to be bullied if you do not know the person who's bullying you? Bullying you? I don't know.
That's actually
I do
worse.
not see you. I
Because
cannot
if-
know if you're Asian or not.
Exactly,
So how
exactly.
can I
They
be bullying
don't-
you?
Okay, they
Okay.
don't know me, okay? It doesn't matter. Like, our opponents are saying that just because I'm anonymous, that they won't know me. They can still know me and post bad
How
things
can
on
they
the internet.
how can they still know you if they do not know you in the first place?
If they're my, like, pretend, like, I'm going to the same school, like, they post
But you are anonymous. They're not going to know
I'm
if you're
not
coming
anonymous
from the first...
in real life, Honorable Judge.
But
I'm
we're not talking
anonymous.
about real life. We're
Thank
talking about
you.
online bullying. Thank you.
Okay, I'll start. First, our argument is that status quo is bad and we need change. Please confirm our stance and please confirm this point. And judges, this debate should be settled in terms of government duty because law is regulated because there is some government duty. So when we think about government duty, we have three standards. We have 3 points points in terms of government's duty. First is whether right to anonymous is so important that should be protected by law. Second point, whether government can consider minority. Second one is whether discourse improve. And second point is whether government can consider minority. I will talk about first one about rights. First of all, negative side drop this point because they are not talking about human rights. So in this debate, the consensus is that we should try to protect human rights. Please confirm this point. This is consensus. And about negative side, they say that human rights will be infringed. But this is only possible reason to reject this motion because they are just talking about status quo or something. They are not talking about motion paradigm. Please confirm this point. However, please confirm our affirmative side. Affirmative side, our first argument about human rights. We want to promote. Of course, we want when we think about government duty, we should promote freedom of speech and privacy. Please confirm this point. And to support this right, we need to protect the right to anonymous. They didn't attack this logic. And please confirm our point. And secondly, please confirm our third contention about setting precedent right. They didn't attack it, and it is government's duty because government should focus on protecting human rights. And this motion will be positive to. This motion can positively protect other human rights. So please confirm our third contention too. There is no attack, and please confirm this point. This is consensus in debate. So government can show a positive attitude to human rights. Please confirm our first standard. And second point about promote discourse. Please confirm our logic. They can tell real thing because they can have mask, and there is no attack in our logic. And please confirm that negative side attack is possible to reject this motion. So and about hate speech, also hate speech will be crowded out because majority, there is no proof that majority will go to negative opinion or something. There is no proof. So please confirm our second point. Point 3 is about minority. Whether government can please back to second standards. And this also be government's duty because of course government need to promote the society. So this can be government duty. Then please back to third standard, third point about whether government can consider minority or not. First of all, about argument about there is no response on the internet. Maybe this is only about some people, and other people can crowd out such hate speech because, of course, there is some people who will respond to such kind of hate speech, and we can say that because they can get anonymous, we can crowd out such hate speech and something. This is connected to our second point too. Please confirm this point, and minority will not get much attack after the plan, and also we can protect minority too. Please confirm this point. Please confirm our first contention. There is people who is suffering from. There is someone who is suffering from such kind of thing, and please confirm. Please think about government duty. When we think about government duty, minority should have equal platform to express themselves, but there is no equal platform. Please confirm this point. And when minority get equal platform to express themselves, then they can make discourse or something. So when we think about minorities, And status quo is rejecting minority to express themselves. But when government protect minority and government duty is to protect minority. So for these three reasons, please vote to us. Thank you for listening.
Okay, hello to everybody, the judges, the opponents, and the colleagues. Today is my pleasure to analyze this game, and today I will analyze this game with the three clash points. Our opponents will saying that in the internet anonymously there will be more discussions. They said that ideas those we believe people won't respond to. But the first, that all of that they are advocating false. Second, we explained how people won't respond. Okay, the second clash point was will there be more benefits or harms? It protects people who want to harm, but does protect vulnerable citizens. Those discussions, therefore, no benefits to minorities. Furthermore, we explained cyberbullying. It was refused efficiently. Our opponents are under the expression, because I am anonymous online, no one knows me. That is ridiculous, honorable judge. Cyberbullying will increase because more aggression, those no accountability in the end will be harmful. Okay, our opponents were speaking about the human rights. So our opponents are saying cyberbullying hurts others are protecting human rights. Our opponents talk about the freedom of speech. They said people won't reply, so how do we support the human rights? Our opponents also seem to want to impose our values of others. Our opponents no response, so it proves we should say we are protecting human rights violating another country. Okay, then our opponents were speaking about the international law, that there is an international law which will work in every government. But as we proved you that international law is created by the by the law which works at the government, and when we already proved that we cannot force the government to accept the international law. We cannot do this because it's not it broke the international relationship. Okay, they were speaking that giving a mask people will say the truth. But we are not agree with this. We already proved in our first speech that the Princeton College made an experiment, and they proved us that when we are giving anonymity to the people, they getting more. They are getting not responsible, and this responsibility brings more harms. Okay, then our opponents didn't attacked like to our argument of the cyberbullying. They were saying that people will not know me if I'm anonymous and they cannot cyberbully us. But the dear judges, people still knows who I am, but the people are like loses the accountability, and the situation will be more harmed. Okay, the other thing which was mentioned by our the other thing which was mentioned by our opponents, they were saying that by giving the freedom of the speech to the people, we will change the regimes, we will change, we will make the progress, we will make the discourse. But they didn't really prove to us how they gonna make a discourse and how they gonna make a progress at that country when some country does not need this law. How you are forcing them to accept this law, and how do you gonna make them to go and discourse and progress at that country? And by this thing with by these issues what I brought you, by the clash points which I discuss with you, I think that the negative side was stronger in this debate, and vote for the negative. Thank you.